believe I have to be here. This is so stupid. 11-year-old Brittany Sanders slouched in the hallway outside family court, her arms crossed, her expression broadcasting her displeasure to anyone who would look. Her mother, Rebecca Sanders, was inside fighting for custody in a nasty divorce, and Brittany had been dragged along because apparently her opinion mattered to the judge, as if she cared. She just wanted this whole thing over so she could get back to her real life. A girl, about her age, sat across the hallway, reading a book. She wore simple clothes, nothing designer, and her hair was pulled back in a plain ponytail. She looked calm, almost peaceful despite being in a courthouse. Brittany couldn't help herself. "What are you doing here? Did your parents get in trouble or something?" The girl looked up from her book with kind eyes. "Something like that. What about you?" "My parents are getting divorced. My mom wants custody, but honestly, I don't care who I live with. They're both equally annoying." The girl's expression showed surprise. "You don't care? Why should I? They're just fighting over who has to deal with me. I'm basically a chess piece in their stupid game. I'm sure they both love you very much." Brittany rolled her eyes. "Whatever. You don't know anything about my life." "You're right, I don't. I'm sorry if I overstepped." But Brittany wasn't looking for apologies. She was looking for someone to take out her frustration on, and this quiet girl seemed like an easy target. "So seriously, why are you here? Did your mom or dad do something bad?" "I'm just waiting for someone." "That's vague. Are you in foster care or something? You look like you might be." The girl's expression tightened slightly. "Why would you say that?" "I don't know, your clothes, I guess. No offense, but they look kind of cheap." "None taken. I don't really care much about clothes." Brittany laughed. "Obviously. I mean, I get that not everyone can afford nice things, but still, you could at least try." A woman in a business suit walking by gave Brittany a sharp look, but Brittany ignored her. She was on a roll now. "Let me guess, public school?" The girl nodded. "Yes, actually. Thought so. I go to Westbrook Academy. It's private. You probably haven't heard of it." "I have, actually. It's supposed to be very good." "It is. Only the best students get in. Well, and people whose parents can afford it." Brittany smirked. "So basically, people not like you." The girl closed her book slowly. "Can I ask you something? Why are you being mean to me? I haven't done anything to you." "I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. There's a difference. Is there? Because it seems like you're deliberately trying to hurt my feelings for no reason." Brittany shrugged. "Don't be so sensitive. I'm just making conversation." "No, you're being cruel. And I think it's because you're hurting and you want someone else to hurt too." That hit too close to home. Brittany felt a surge of anger. "You don't know anything about me. Stop acting like you're some kind of therapist." "You're right. I don't know you. But I know hurt when I see it. I've seen a lot of it in this building." "Oh, so you are in foster care." "I knew it. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. It's obvious. You're probably here because your real parents didn't want you or something." The girl's eyes flashed with something that might have been anger, but she kept her voice level. "My parents wanted me very much. Past tense, wanted. So what happened? They gave you up? Couldn't afford to keep you?" "They died 3 years ago, car accident." Brittany felt a small pang of something. Guilt? Regret? But she pushed it down. "Oh, well, that sucks, I guess. But still, that doesn't mean you get to act all high and mighty with me." "I wasn't acting high and mighty. I was just reading a book and you started insulting me." A man in a security uniform approached. "Is everything okay here, Miss Harper?" The girl nodded. "Everything's fine, Officer Chen. Thank you for checking." He looked at Brittany with clear disapproval. "If anyone's bothering you, just let me know." "She's not bothering me, just talking." After he left, Brittany scoffed. "Wow, even the security guards feel sorry for you? That's actually kind of pathetic." "Why are you like this?" the girl asked quietly. "What do you get out of being cruel to someone you don't even know?" "I'm not being cruel. I'm just not fake nice like everyone else. Someone has to tell you the truth." "The truth about what? That my clothes aren't expensive? That I go to public school? That my parents are dead? I already know all of that. You're not telling me anything new. You're just being mean because you can." Brittany stood up, angry now. "You know what? Maybe I am being mean. Because this whole day sucks. My whole life sucks right now. And if I have to feel terrible, why shouldn't you?" The girl stood, too, gathering her things. "I'm sorry your life is hard right now. I really am. But making other people hurt doesn't make your pain go away. It just spreads it around. Whatever. Go back to your foster home or wherever you came from. I live with my grandmother, and she taught me that hurting people on purpose says more about who you are than who they are. Before Brittany could respond, a bailiff opened the courtroom door. Sanders family? The judge is ready for you. Brittany's mother emerged from the courtroom, looking stressed. Brittany, come on, the judge wants to talk to you. Why? I already said I don't care who I live with. Well, you're going to have to tell that to the judge. Come on. Brittany followed her mother into the courtroom, still fuming from her interaction with the strange girl. The room was formal and intimidating, with high ceilings and dark wood paneling. All rise. The Honorable Judge Margaret Harper presiding. Everyone stood as the judge entered, through a side door. Brittany barely glanced at her, too focused on wanting this whole thing to be over. Please be seated, the judge said. I've heard testimony from both parents. Now I'd like to speak with the child at the center of this case. Brittany Sanders, please approach the bench. Brittany walked forward, trying to look bored, rather than nervous. The judge was a black woman in her 50s, wearing the traditional black robes, with an air of quiet authority. Brittany, I understand. You're 11 years old, is that correct? Yes? Yes, Your Honor, her mother hissed from behind her. Yes, Your Honor, Brittany repeated with obvious annoyance. Judge Harper studied her for a moment. I also understand you've stated that you don't care which parent you live with. Is that accurate? I guess. Yes or no, please. Yes, Your Honor. That's interesting. Most children in custody cases have a strong preference. Can you tell me why you don't? Brittany shrugged. Because they're both just fighting over who has to deal with me. I'm just a weapon they use against each other. So why should I care? I see. And do you feel that neither parent loves you? I don't know. I guess they do. They just love fighting with each other more. Judge Harper made a note. Brittany, while you're here, I need to address something else. Were you just in the hallway speaking with a young girl about your age? Brittany's heart skipped. Maybe. Why? Because that young girl is my granddaughter Claire, and the bailiff informed me that you were saying some very unkind things to her. The courtroom seemed to spin. Brittany's face went hot, then cold. I didn't know. Didn't know what? That she was related to me? That she'd lost her parents? Or that being cruel to strangers is wrong regardless of their circumstances? Brittany couldn't speak. Everyone in the courtroom was staring at her. Judge Harper continued, her voice stern. Officer Chen reports that he heard you mocking Claire's clothes, her school, and her family situation. He says you called her pathetic and made assumptions about her being in foster care. Is this accurate? I was just talking. Answer the question. Did you say those things? Yes, Your Honor. And did you do so after she asked you to stop being mean to her? Brittany nodded miserably. I need a verbal response for the record. Yes. I kept being mean even after she asked me to stop. Judge Harper removed her glasses, pinching the bridge of her nose. You need to understand something, Brittany. My granddaughter lost both her parents in a horrific accident 3 years ago. She watched them die. She spent 6 months in therapy learning how to function again. She still has nightmares. And she is the strongest, kindest, most resilient person I know. Tears started rolling down Brittany's face. She could have become bitter. She could have used her tragedy as an excuse to treat others poorly. Instead, she chose kindness. She volunteers at a children's hospital. She tutors younger kids. She's on the honor roll despite everything she's been through. And you mocked her because her clothes weren't expensive enough for you. I'm sorry, Brittany whispered. I'm not the one you need to apologize to. But before we get to that, I need to address what this tells me about your custody situation. She looked at both parents. Mr. and Mrs. Sanders, your daughter just demonstrated a profound lack of empathy, compassion, and basic human decency. She deliberately hurt someone who was being kind to her. This suggests that both of you have failed in teaching her fundamental values. Both parents started to protest, but Judge Harper held up her hand. I'm not interested in excuses. I'm interested in solutions. This custody battle has clearly affected your daughter, but that doesn't excuse her behavior. It explains it, but it doesn't excuse it. She turned back to Brittany. Young lady, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to mandate family therapy for you and whichever parent receives primary custody. You need to learn that your pain doesn't give you permission to hurt others. You need to develop empathy, and you need to understand that privilege comes with responsibility. Yes, Your Honor. Additionally, you're going to write a formal apology to Claire. Not a quick, I'm sorry. A real, thoughtful letter that demonstrates you understand what you did wrong and why it was wrong. Is that clear? Yes, Your Honor. And finally, you're going to spend one Saturday a month for the next 6 months volunteering at the children's hospital where Claire volunteers. You're going to see what real problems look like. You're going to meet kids who are fighting for their lives and still manage to smile. Maybe that will give you some perspective. Brittany nodded, crying openly now. Judge Harper softened slightly. Brittany, I can see you're hurting. Divorce is hard on kids, but you can't use that pain as a weapon. You can't spread hurt just because you're hurting. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. I'm really, really sorry. Again, I'm not the one who needs your apology, but I appreciate the sentiment. The custody hearing continued, but Brittany barely heard it. She was too busy replaying her conversation with Claire, seeing it now through different eyes. Every cruel word, every mocking comment, every assumption she'd made. When court adjourned, Judge Harper called Brittany back. Would you like to apologize to Claire now? She's still in the hallway. Brittany nodded, terrified, but knowing she had to do this. They walked out together, and there was Claire, still reading her book. She looked up when she saw them, unsurprised. Grandma? All done? Almost, sweetheart. Brittany has something she wants to say to you. Claire looked at Brittany with those same kind eyes. No judgment, no anger. Somehow that made it worse. I'm so sorry, Brittany began, her voice shaking. I was horrible to you. I said terrible things. I made fun of you for no reason, except that I was angry and hurting and I wanted someone else to feel bad too. That was wrong. Really, really wrong. Claire stood up. I accept your apology. Just like that? Just like that. You were mean, but you're not a mean person. There's a difference. You just forgot that for a while. How can you be so nice to me after what I said? Claire glanced at her grandmother, then back at Brittany. Because I've learned that holding on to anger hurts me more than it hurts the person I'm angry at. And because everyone deserves a second chance. Judge Harper squeezed Claire's shoulder proudly. Why don't you two talk for a few minutes? I have some paperwork to finish. After she left, the two girls sat down in the hallway. An awkward silence stretched between them. Finally, Brittany spoke. I really am sorry. About your parents. About what I said. About everything. I know. And for what it's worth. I'm sorry about your parents' divorce. That must be really hard. It is. But it's nothing compared to what you went through. Pain isn't a competition. Your hurt is real even if someone else's hurt is different. They talked for 20 minutes. Claire told Brittany about her parents, about the accident, about how she'd survived the grief. Brittany told Claire about the divorce, about feeling like a pawn, about the anger she didn't know how to handle. Your grandmother said I have to volunteer at the children's hospital. Claire smiled. That's where I volunteer. Maybe we'll see each other. I'd like that. If you don't mind, I mean. I don't mind. Everyone needs someone to talk to sometimes. Over the next 6 months, Brittany kept every commitment Judge Harper had mandated. She wrote a 3-page apology letter to Claire that was genuine and heartfelt. She attended family therapy with her mother, who ultimately received primary custody, and she volunteered at the children's hospital, where she met Claire every Saturday. The work was hard, meeting kids with cancer, with terminal illnesses, with challenges Brittany had never imagined. But it changed her. She learned gratitude, empathy, perspective. She and Claire became real friends, bonding over their shared experiences of broken families and hard lessons. Claire taught Brittany meditation techniques for managing anger. Brittany taught Claire that it was okay to be sad sometimes, that you didn't always have to be strong. A year later, when Brittany's mother remarried, Brittany invited Claire to the wedding. Judge Harper came too, and Brittany sought her out during the reception. Thank you, Brittany said, for not giving up on me, for making me do the work to be better. Judge Harper smiled. You did the work, Brittany. I just pointed you in the right direction. I'm proud of who you've become. I was such a brat. You were a hurt child lashing out. Now you're a young woman who knows better. And does better. That's all any of us can ask. Brittany looked across the room where Claire was laughing with some other guests. I almost missed out on the best friend I've ever had because I was too busy being mean. But you didn't miss out. You recognized your mistake and you fixed it. That's what matters. Years later, when Brittany graduated from high school as valedictorian, her speech focused on empathy, second chances, and the importance of kindness. She told the story of meeting a girl in a courthouse hallway and learning the hardest lesson of her life. I thought I was better than her because my clothes cost more, Brittany told the assembled graduates. I thought I had the right to judge her based on appearances. I was wrong about everything, and if I hadn't been forced to confront my cruelty, I might have grown up to be a terrible person. In the audience, Claire sat with Judge Harper. both of them smiling. That girl taught me that strength looks like kindness, that wisdom looks like compassion, that real class has nothing to do with money and everything to do with character. She taught me that who I am matters infinitely more than what I have. After the ceremony, the two girls hugged, no longer that brat and her victim, but two friends who'd helped each other through hard times. "Thank you for being mean to me that day," Claire joked. Brittany laughed. "That's a weird thing to thank someone for. If you hadn't been mean, we wouldn't have become friends. Your grandmother wouldn't have made you volunteer. You wouldn't have learned what you needed to learn. I could have learned it some other way. Maybe. But this was our way, and I wouldn't change it." Judge Harper joined them, proud of both girls. "You know what the best part of my job is? It's not the law. It's the moments when I get to see people change for the better, when I get to watch someone become the person they were always meant to be." She looked at Brittany. "You came into my courtroom as a child using pain as an excuse for cruelty. You left as a young woman learning to transform pain into compassion. That's justice in its truest form." Brittany smiled, tears in her eyes. "Thank you for not letting me get away with it, for making me be better." "You're welcome. But remember, you're the one who chose to be better. That was all you." As they walked out of the graduation ceremony together, three generations united by an unexpected moment of truth in a courthouse hallway, Brittany reflected on how one terrible choice had led to the best friendship of her life. She'd learned that judges don't just preside over courtrooms. Sometimes they preside over character development, turning moments of cruelty into opportunities for growth. And sometimes the people we hurt the most become the ones who help us heal.